This course takes a hard look from a field perspective at processes of post-conflict peace building, democratic transitions from decades of experience, and really tries to pull together for practitioners, people policy making, people who are operating on the front lines, whether in humanitarian organizations or civil society organizations.
One of the core things is to try and learn from some of the lessons of Baghdad. Some of the things that made it a bad situation so much worse, like dismissing all of the security forces and not maintaining that, not dealing with kind of reprisal attacks, not dealing with building up local communities, not dealing with the sort of defeated side, casting them out completely, and thus allowing them to form into a very violent opposition.
The aim of the course is to think through how transitions are managed in a more comprehensive and more integrated way. What we're trying to do is to get people to think about a whole variety of issues, how to bring them together, and how to make transitions more effective and less costly in terms of their impact on people who are trying to survive in post-conflict or post-transition countries.
One of the highlights for me was the discussions on the case studies, especially covering Iraq, Kosovo, because these are areas that, and Afghanistan, these are areas that had worked in.
I started working very recently, and I gained a lot of theoretical knowledge during my studies, but I'm only starting to put it in practice, and I thought this course was one of those places where you could get this practical perspective.
Sending those very clear messages that how you deal with your own people and keep a lid on it, knowing how hard it is, knowing how tough the conflict's been, is absolutely essential. Because if you have another wave of reprisal killings, how are you going to deal with them? You're going to have to be investigating war crimes among the government you're trying to assist.
The course is designed really for executives, people who work at senior levels in multilateral organizations, government, civil society, and others.
But if the situation is getting where they no longer find the need.
UNHCR sometimes work totally disconnected with the local realities.
We saw it in Liberia. They gave, pre-World War I, firearms.
How can we help sustainable peace?
We bring them together for a couple of days to really look together at some of these issues and really make sure that we've clearly understood not only what the practices have been to date, but also what can be done better in the future.
I'm glad to see that the Kosovo case was gained some prominence as a successful case of intervention, and I'm very familiar with it, so I recognized a lot of good things that maybe I didn't appreciate until now. What I learned from this time is that you can get the theory right and everything, but the human agency is also an equally important factor in interventions.
You can't do everything. You have to decide what you can do. What do you recommend for a government to be doing on day one? What are the kind of absolute priorities? What would you set your personnel to be doing?
I like very much when we got into more practical sessions, and I think this was extremely useful even to go over to my theoretical development right now.
Now I know that it is not enough to do the analysis. It's not enough to know what is going on, but it is important to really do advocacy work to make sure that people listen to you and people buy into your ideas and then get attracted to what is happening on the ground so that they can do some effective work or reaction to the situation.
As one of the instructors on this, I find myself learning an immense amount from the participants themselves and from the students, what they give back to these sessions.